Hi everybody, it's Ian here from Hammocks Survival. I'm just going to do a review today on a DD hammock. I used to own one of the original frontline hammocks, the ones that you used to get with a big thick green rope and stuff. It had the midgie net as well, which I found very useful. The one that I've went for this time is a DD Travel Hammock, and this is the one here. It's the same size as the frontline, but this one, it has a polyester base on it as well, so you can sleep on the floor with it and use it as a type of bivvy. My old hammock, I actually modified it a little bit so I could use it as a bivvy, but I had to use a ground sheet with it as well. So I'm going to give this one a go and see how it goes. I also ordered the t-shirt as well. If you spend so much, you get a choice of a free t-shirt, so I got the free t-shirt as well. So there we go. It's got a logo on the back as well, with the DD logo and everything. And I have to say, it's a good piece of material, this. If you want to buy one of these, I think they're about 13 quid. You'd have to look up the prices on it, but I haven't got a problem with it, so let's get into the t-shirt. Nice and DD. I would suggest that when you're ordering the t-shirt, look at the sizes. I didn't look at the sizes properly. I just ordered the medium because when I order a t-shirt from a shop, I normally order like a medium or a large, and they do tend to fit us okay. But when the medium came, it was really tight on us, so I got the extra large. I rang them up and they said, well, we'll send you another one out, you know. So they stuck theirs in the post to me, and I stuck mine in the post back to them. And it came the next day, and I was very happy. I must say the service was very good. It was kind of them to do that, because it was me who made the mistake. So I have to say, whenever you're dealing with DD Tarps, I've always had good reports about the customer service and that sort of thing, you know. Also, when you order it, you get a couple of pamphlets and things like that as well. And here's the hammock. I went for the travel hammock because I modified my last so I could sleep on the ground with it. With the travel hammock, it has a polyester base. It's the same as what's made with the tarp, the 3 metre tarp, which means that basically you can set it up on the ground and double it up as a bivvy, which does come in handy for me because when I'm out there hiking, I do often sleep on the ground rather than putting it up in a tree. It's come with these 4 guys. For to hold the weight up, and I believe there's I think there's 2 times 10 metres of webbing. Yep, there's 10 metres of webbing on here, so that's 5 metres either side. You also get a bag with 4 elastic guys, and those 2 elastic guys, they are 2 metres long, and these come in handy for holding up your actual fly sheet or midgie net. There's also 2 little camping type poles inside of there, which go inside of the webbing for to fold it up, and I'll show you that later when I come to set it up. I am actually going to set this up in my own form, so I do apologise to DD if they don't like the idea, but at the end of the day, it works for me, and other people can modify their own kit. I have a couple of carabiners which I'm going to attach to the tree huggers here. You can also buy a setup to set up your hammock with, where you get the arm steel set with the tree huggers. But me personally, I don't use them. I'm quite happy with this, but I do know guys who do use them, and they're more than happy with them. So if you take a look at that, you can buy the extras there as well. So let's go set it up, and we'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do with this is, when I open the end of the, tarp, sorry, the hammock, I'll bring one end close to the edge of the hammock. Just need to undo the ropes. I haven't actually had this opened up properly yet, so I'll bring this close to the edge of the hammock. And what I'll do is I'll put a loop in with just a standard stop knot like this, and that can stay there, and that one there will just stay at the end of the hammock. So I have the hammock completely opened up here, and on the other end I put another loop with a stop knot. Like this. And then the carabiner can go into the hammock. And that will just stay there, and in future when I use the hammock I have this to take around the tree and tie the hammock up. I'll also get a little bit of extra length because once it's pulls tight it's going to pull the hammock up close like that. And I'll do the same on the other end, and then I'll show you how we'll put it up. Okay, I'll just paste that out just to show you. I've got roughly 4.5 metres between those two trees, so that should be a good distance for to set this hammock system up. Sorry about the chatting in the background, there's actually a lesson going on as well, so I'm running this video at the same time. Okay, as you can see, I've just hung the hammock up there and just got it more or less centred, and you can see on the ends where the carabiners are. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but I will give you a closer look. And I'm just going to show you how to tighten this up the way that I do it. Okay, just to give you a closer look, what I did was, when I've tied this end, I've just put a quick release loop in, so I can just undo that, and the whole thing just falls apart. Now if I want to tighten it up, there's the two stop knots that I made at either end of the hammock. And if I want to tighten that up now, what I need to do is just pull the cord, and it'll tighten the actual hammock up. And then when I've got it tight, as tight as I want it, all I need to do now is just put a couple of loops in, quick release, and that is enough to hold the hammock up. And when I want it off, all I do is just pull it and the whole thing falls away. Simple as that. Okay, I've adjusted the hammock a few times just to tighten it up. I've tightened it up, sat it, and it's stretched out a bit. And I've tightened it up again, stretched it out a little bit, and then tightened it up again. You will find that it will lower slightly the first couple of times you use it, or at least for the first night. But other than that, it's a good piece of kit, the DD hammock. It's had a lot of good reviews over the years, and I just want to see how good of a sleep I have in this tonight. It also has a zip on both sides of the fly net, so you can open it either side. I'm just about to put the fly net up now, so let's just get on with that. When you're putting the little tent pole in, into the webbing, you'll find there's a little hole at the end here. All you need to do is just open that, get the tent pole inside of it, there you go, push it all the way down. Should just pop inside. And there you go. The next thing, just put the guy on, put the hold up the net. Notice when I put the fly net up, I've not actually gone too high and lifted it right up, because when I come to sit in the hammock itself is going to sink and the fly net will be really high. If I put it too high, it's going to overstretch it, sort of thing, and put a lot of strain on there, so it's not a good idea. So you can open it up on either side, and you can also fix it up as well for to get yourself a little bit of fresh air during the daytime. Let's go on the other side. And there you have it, the thing opens up like that. Sit that right along. Let's sit inside of it. Nice and comfortable. good night sleeping here tonight. I could lift the fly net a little bit further if I wanted to, but I think I'll just leave it where it is. Also, there's a Velcro seal on the side, so you can open it up, and this is double layered, and inside of there you can put yourself a ground sheet in. Some people like to use the DD under blanket, but me personally, just for space saving, I just tend to use the ground sheet. But everybody I know who's used a DD under blanket say it works a treat, and it's really well worth its money. So if you want to take a look at that, here's a 3x3 tarp. Has a little tag on the side of it. Obviously I'll just take that off, but for now I'm just going to open it and see what's inside. It's nice and neatly packed away, nicely folded up. There's a little bag comes with it. Let's see what's in the little bag. Okay, inside of here you have 4 standard tent pegs, and you're also given 4 guys. That's to get you started for to set it up. Very handy to have. I personally have my own set of pegs and my own guys because I do tend to set things up in my own way, in my own style. But if you go to DD's website, there are actually tips on there for how to set up your tarp and also how to set up your hammock, and it's some quite useful information. But when you've been out camping quite a few times by yourself, you find that people tend to sort of do their own setups, that sort of thing. A lot of guys who come here tend to use the setup which DD send them. Some guys modify it a little bit. I'm always doing that. I always modify things a little bit, you know. But as you can see, it's a good piece of material, this. Nice polyester. It's good and waterproof. I've used one before, and if you look at one of my earlier videos, you'll see where I've done one of my earlier hammock setups as well. So that's the tarp. A lot of people, when they set these tarps up, what they do is they put a guy from one tree to the other, but they feed it through the tarp first, through the loopholes, through the toggles. What I tend to do is I just tend to tie one of the guys to one end and another guy to the other end, and then just tie to the tree, and then they're both just put on with quick release knots, the same way as what I fasten the carabiners. And that's the way I really fasten everything. That's the way the bungees are fastened for the fly net, for my carabiners, and it's the way they'll be fastened for this too. But it's personal preference, it's just the way I do it, and I find that it is a pretty strong material, and it does hold up to strong winds and stuff, and or reasonably strong winds and most weather. I've never had a problem, I've never had it rip, and I've never had the toggles tear or snap or anything like that either. Okay, I have the 2 ends tied up now. As you can see, I've put them roughly about the same height. I'll just turn the camera there. I've put them roughly about the same height as where I actually have the fly net tied, just a little bit higher. And what I'm going to do now is, the way I like to do it is just to peg the back of it. I'll just show you how to do that. Okay, I'm just going to peg the back down here. I'll just show you how I like to do this. Take the middle first, find a comfortable place where it sits nice and comfortable, not too much tension, but you don't want it too slack. Put your peg on about a 45-degree angle and just push it in. For some reason the ground here seems a little bit rocky, which is unusual for this wood because it's usually quite a lot of clay underneath the surface, so I will get there eventually. Try not to push too hard in one go with your foot, otherwise you'll probably bend the peg. It does happen, I've done it many times. Once you've got the middle one in, take your two corners and peg those two. In that way you're taking any of the creases out of the actual top and you're not getting any folds here in the middle, and it stops any water sort of pooling and weighing your top down. I mean it's on a steep angle anyway, it's unlikely that's going to happen, but it just keeps the tension nice and easy, and it also keeps the tension nice and even, and also keeps your top in better condition if you try to keep the tension even. Otherwise over time they can actually stretch a little bit and become uneven. And I'll just get the other corner. On the corner here I've used a walking pole to hold the corner up, and I've used an elasticated guy which I've actually made myself. The reason why I use this is because I like to keep the front of the tarp open and I can set a fire a couple of metres away from the front of it. DD recommends that you keep any fires a couple of metres away from your tarp, otherwise it will distort the shape of the tarp. The reason why I use the elasticated guy, which I've made myself with 4mm bungee cord, is because if it starts to pour down in the night time, it means I can just kick down the poles and the elasticated cord keeps the tension on the actual tarp itself. I haven't put the other side up, but I can still show you how that works. Just like that. And that'll keep me nice and dry, and it stops any water pooling on top of the tarp. So I just want to take that into account. Okay, that's the hammock set up now. Yeah, I've got the tarp up. Sometimes what I'll do is the middle toggle here, I might take a guy, put it from one tree to the other, and it holds this middle toggle up a little bit further, but I'm just not going to bother doing that tonight. As you can see, I've got the top of it nice and even. I'll just lift the cam up there. I've got the top of it nice and even. If it was to get wet tonight, that would actually pool, but as I've shown you earlier on, all I need to do is just kick the poles away and it'll just drop down, and I've got myself a nice airframe. I've got like 9 square metres there, 3x3, so it'll uphold any downpours, any strong winds, that sort of thing. I've slept in the 3x3 tarp hundreds of times, and the DD tarp, it really does the job. On each toggle here you have this, I think this is latex as well. I'll just give you a closer look at that. It has this, what I think is latex as well, if you can see there, on each toggle. There's one that toggle, each on the corners as well. You can see the black latex there, and that helps to strengthen each one of the toggles as well. Anyway, that's my review on the DD Travel Hammock and 3-metre tarp. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Keep an eye out for more videos in the future. I'm going to start hitting the hills. I've got my landy there now, so I can drive myself out and then go on like hikes for a few days and stuff like that. Use the landy as a base sort of thing to go from and come back to. So just keep an eye on the channel. My name's Ian Coulthard. This is Hikers Hall of Survival, and until next time, stay safe.